They used to have these books that were choose your own adventure, where you'd get a choice at the end of the chapter whether to do thing A or thing B. And if you chose thing A, it would tell you to go to this page. If you chose thing B, it would tell you to go to this other page. I always died. You're watching NickBox.com. My name is Nick, and this is my box. Today is April the 8th, 2015, the 8th day of vlog every day in April. And the question for the day is, what is the most adventurous thing you have ever done? I have done a lot of things that I would consider adventurous, but they may not be adventurous to other people. For example, auditioning for choir. For me, that was an adventure. But of course, it is not what one typically thinks of as adventurous, where it's getting out in the world and doing something interesting. Like just recently, I went snowshoeing for the first time. That was a lot of fun and something I would consider an adventure. But I don't think that's quite enough to hit this category of most adventurous thing I have ever done. But I must go back, way back, before the beard. I honestly don't remember how old I was, but when I was a kid, my family and I would go out to the lake every weekend and just have a blast all summer long. And my brother and I were just crazy enough to go find the nearest cliff and jump off of it into the water. And that wasn't that big of a deal because the cliff that we were jumping off was a mere 15, maybe 20 feet high. But that wasn't enough for me. Oh no! There was a bigger cliff nearby, and that was one I was going to conquer. And it took probably a good half hour to walk all the way up from around the corner up to the top of this cliff. And as soon as I got to the top of that cliff, I took off my shoes and threw them down into the water so that I could not walk back. I also took off my life vest and threw it off the side so that I had no other choice but to follow it into the water below. My parents and brothers sat in wait at the bottom of the cliff waiting for me to jump. And wait they did for quite a long time, because it was pretty high up there. We're talking a good 70, 80 feet up. You know, off the surface of the water. That's a long way down. But with no other choice around me, I took the leap, and fell, and kept falling, and fell some more. And the water was rapidly approaching, but the fall down towards it took a long time, and as I was falling, I started to twist a little bit, so that when I hit, I was probably maybe around 30 degrees to the water. And of course, when my feet hit, that part of my body stopped completely, while the rest of it caught up and landed pretty much flat on my back. I was probably a good 10 or 15 feet under the water, and I realized at that point that I could not breathe. And it wasn't because of all the water around me, it was because the muscles inside me had been jarred so much, I was not going to be able to breathe as soon as I got to the surface. And that scared the crap out of me. And when I got to the surface, sure enough, I made the most god-awful noise imaginable, trying to suck in air. Scared the crap out of my parents, but I survived. I have a lot more adventurous things planned through the coming year. In a week and a half or so, I'm going to go sleep in a cave underground. In January, I'm going to go take a trip to Panama, which is going to be completely awesome. It's going to be an exciting year, and I look forward to bringing you guys along with me. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching, and thanks for being awesome.